The numbers are right. Everything reconciled. Nothing is missing. There's more data than ever, and less room to think. So, what do we actually do next? That's the moment you realize the math was almost helpful.
Hey, it's Cashflow Mike, and welcome back to our podcast, the one that's all about the clear path to cash. So I'm going to start by let me say something that sounds strange. First of all, I think tax season gives you answers, but it doesn't give you order. And that's why February always feels unfinished. It's because you're going to be surrounded by all this information, but you're starving for that next step. What is the next step? During tax season, advisors don't just use one tool. They use everything. Everything that's at your disposal, everything that's on your desk. It's tax software, it's dashboards, it's portals, it's work papers, it's KPIs and forecasts and spreadsheets, reports galore. And here's the weird part. The more tools you use, the less resolution you feel. Why? Because the tools explain, but they don't prioritize. Most software is designed to answer questions like, hey, what happened? What changed? Where are we at? What's the number? And those are all important questions, but tax season doesn't break advisors because they don't know what happened. Tax season breaks advisors because nobody's telling them what matters most right now. That's the gap, right? Answers aren't the same as decisions. So let's talk about why tools stop short. Mainly it's because they're built for reporting, not leadership. It's dashboards. Well, dashboards don't want any responsibility. They want to be accurate. They want to show you the truth. But they don't want to tell you what to do with it. Like, here's just a number, right? And during tax season, that becomes a problem. Mainly because you don't need more truth. You need order. So tax season has this weird effect, right? It multiplies analysis. Again, there's more reports, there's more comparisons, there's more tax planning scenarios, more what-if questions. And it all sounds and feels like progress. It's like you're always busy but never doing anything. But it isn't always, because analysis does have some order. Analysis without prioritization, though, is going to create pressure. You're going to walk away with 10 things that you could have done or could do, but no more clarity on what one you should do first. So sometimes nothing gets done. And that's the part that feels unfair. It feels unfair to the client. This tool, it's going to deliver the numbers. It's going to deliver the report and the insight. But the advisor has to deliver the decision. What should that person do next? So the advisor becomes the missing feature, becomes the gap, the person that fills the gap. And that's why February is exhausting, because you're doing the decision work, or should be doing the decision work, but without the decision support. So sometimes the more clarity you have, the worse you feel, because clarity, it creates obligation. Once you see the issue, you can't unsee it. And then you feel responsible for fixing it. You ever seen somebody's problem and just not done anything about it, but you want to tell them, but you don't, right? You don't have time to fix it. And the client expects you to know exactly what to do next. So now that clarity that that you can see, it becomes your pressure, your burden. It's what's weighing on your shoulders. And that's why tax season always feels unfinished. It's not because you don't understand the numbers. It's because you understand them perfectly. You see them. You see how they interact and how they flow. But there's still work that isn't resolved. That's your next step. It's getting in front of the client, showing them what to do about it. So this is what I call decision debt. You got unresolved priorities. You got unfinished conversations. You got incomplete next steps. Too many open loops. And the more clients you have, that debt continues to grow, because every client meeting ends with, okay, we should probably address that. We should probably do something about that. And then the next meeting starts. And so you carry the next meeting forward. You carry this debt forward and into the next meeting and into the next meeting. We're working with a client right now. It's the same thing. We're having the same conversation over and over and over again, because the debt still exists, because nobody's taken action. So when most tools are creating insight, they're just not creating momentum at the same time. And momentum requires decision flow. It requires a path, a sequence. Tax season is chaos because it breaks up our sequences. It forces you to jump straight from numbers to panic to scramble to next meeting with no structure. And that's why advisors don't feel tired, they feel unfinished. That's exactly what May is about. My big app boot camp that's coming in May. May is where we rebuild decision flow. It's no more about dashboards. It's not about producing another report. It's a system that helps you create order so you feel finished, so the advisor doesn't have to carry everything alone. May is where we're going to fix the gap between analysis and action. And details just came out. Be expecting emails, be expecting social posts, be expecting more about May. So if February feels unresolved, it's because your tools aren't giving you the answers. Or they're giving you the answers and they're not giving you the order. And that creates stress even when the numbers are really clear. So next week, we're going to talk about something nobody really wants to admit out loud. Why advisors count down the end of tax season like it's survival. Because it's not about workload, it's about weight. So this is all about the clear path to cash, the thing that gives you order, the thing that gives you the momentum to drive decision flow. If you've ever felt it, think about the clear path to cash, because we were built for that moment.
The numbers are right. Everything reconciled. Nothing is missing. There's more data than ever, and less room to think. So, what do we actually do next? That's the moment you realize the math was almost helpful.